Janet Gleeson, Millionaire, the Philanderer, Gambler, and Duelist who invented modern finance. Welcome to a fascinating journey of John Law, the man behind the transformation of the modern financial landscape. In Janet Gleeson's Millionaire, the Philanderer, Gambler, and Duelist who invented modern finance, the highlights of Law's life as a gambler, a duelist, and an innovator are captured brilliantly. Discover how this adventurous figure not only introduced paper money but also modern banking and credit systems in France in the early 18th century. Get ready to uncover the secrets behind the intense rise and fall of Law's ambitious projects, and how his ideas have shaped the financial world that we live in today.
The history and evolution of banking. Banking and credit have been in existence since the ancient times. However, it was not until the 16th and 17th centuries that the foundations of modern banking were laid. This transformation began in Italian cities, particularly in the Republic of Genoa. As trade expanded and monarchs became more affluent, the old banking system was rendered useless. The solution was a new complex system of credit, which relied heavily on trust. Banks backed up this trust by having physical reserves of money and gold coins of real value. This led to the use of paper money, which could be exchanged for real currency, though this financial system could only sustain itself in a world of political stability and trust. John Law emerged as a significant figure in the field of economics during this changing period. John Law, the gambler economist. John Law, born in a poor family but inheriting a substantial wealth after his father's death, moved to London and indulged in gambling and women. London played a significant role in shaping his ideas and personality, and gambling became his ticket to society. Despite occasional financial troubles, Law continued gambling, propelled by his mathematical talent and understanding of probability. Nonetheless, his exploits kindled his interest in the then-new science of economics, paving the way for his pursuit as an economist. From Fops to Financier. In the dangerous world of 17th-century London, John Law found himself in a deadly duel, which led to his imprisonment and escape to Amsterdam. On the continent, Law survived by gambling and met his partner, Catherine, while refining his ideas on economic stability. Law believed that the exploitation of raw materials for generating wealth was not sustainable and introduced the concept of paper money. His ideas, however, were met with indifferent reception following the publication of his pamphlet in 1705. After a decade on the continent, Law beseeched Queen Anne for a pardon, but to no avail, prompting him to turn to France to test his theories. The revolutionary paper money of John Law. In 1705, John Law proposed a plan to revive France's poor economy by increasing the supply of money. He came up with the idea of paper money, which was revolutionary at that time. Law sent his proposal to Nicolas Desmarets, the king's finance minister. Eventually, the Duke of Orleans became receptive and founded a private bank, the Banque Générale. Despite initial resistance, paper money gained trust and the French economy began to grow. Law's masterful economic transformation. Law's innovative economic ideas revolutionized the French economy by creating a state bank that issued billets to finance investments in Louisiana. After acquiring the Mississippi Company, Law aimed to monopolize trade, leading to the purchase of the rival companies and eventually taking over the state debt. His use of paper money enabled the exponential growth of the Mississippi Company's shares and resulted in a tremendous economic boom. Through his actions, Law proved that paper money held significant value and potential. Law's Mississippi Bubble. In 1719, John Law created the Mississippi Company, which became a seemingly unstoppable wealth-creating machine. This success attracted speculation, prompting prices to skyrocket, resulting in the term millionaire being first coined. Law encouraged foreign investment to support the system of paper money, leading to heavy criticism and ever-increasing amounts of credit being issued. By the end of 1719, a bubble was formed, causing share prices of the Mississippi Company to increase 20-fold. Despite his newfound celebrity, Law invested carefully and devoted himself to streamlining France's tax system. In 1720, Law was appointed Controller General of Finances, but shortly after, his downfall began. The Mississippi Bubble. The Mississippi Company headed by the Scottish economist John Law promised unbridled riches for investors. However, the scheme was built on fake promises and soon its value tanked. The French economic system had by then become inextricably tied to the company, leading to a catastrophic chain of events. Law tried to impose measures such as banning exports and even forbidding the wearing of diamonds, but it was all in vain. As the value of paper money plummeted, Law suffered a breakdown and resorted to printing more notes, which only worsened the situation. Critics denounced him as a fraud when he unilaterally devalued the paper currency. Law was eventually removed from his post and placed under house arrest, marking the end of the Mississippi Bubble. John Law's economic ideas. John Law, despite being reinstated as the Controller General of Finances, couldn't save the French economy as confidence in the local economy was lost, leading to the collapse of the system of paper money Law had established. 500,000 people claimed losses from shares and banknotes that ultimately caused the downfall of Law. However, Law's ideas like circulating paper money and raising investment through issuing shares are now a core aspect of modern economies. His ambitious plans may have failed in his lifetime, but his legacy as a creative economic strategist lives on.
In the end, John Law's rollercoaster life leaves us intrigued and inspired as we realize the impact of his innovative economic ideas on our modern financial system. Even though Law faced personal and financial ruin due to his ambitious plans and their consequences, his groundbreaking introduction of paper money, his approach to raising investment through the issuance of shares and modern credit systems, paved the way for the global economy that we have today. Thus, while Law's life is a cautionary tale of the dangers of unrestrained speculation, it is also an enduring testimony to how an audacious genius can leave a lasting impact on the world.